Her new man isn't your competition, your response is. Here's the truth. That battle is already won if and only if you handle this the right way. Let me show you why she moved on so fast. It's not love, it's emotional escape. You see, she didn't process the breakup because she didn't have to. She knows that she can just go straight onto Tinder and just get another date this weekend. Hell, she could have a dozen dates this weekend. It doesn't matter to her. By using them, she can at least skip the pain. And what she's really doing is just delaying it. She just thinks she skipped it. This is the part where guys like to jump on girls a lot, but here's the truth. If you had as many options as the average woman did, you'd be the exact same way. We like to think that we're higher and mightier because we don't have those options and therefore don't act on them, when in fact, that's not really virtue. So you're not virtuous for not grabbing something you can't reach. If you could get a dozen dates for this weekend, you'd do it too, just so that you wouldn't have to sit through the pain that's making you watch this video. She doesn't have to, and the average modern woman will not do it. In that way, it's almost a compliment to you because if she felt nothing for you, she wouldn't have to throw herself back into Tinder so quickly. But rebounds, and I'm using that term very lightly here, are just a distraction. They're not depth. They don't have the same emotional depth or history that you and her had. Especially if she jumps into a new relationship within literally days or weeks of ending things with you. Guys tend to get all upset by this because they think, well, I didn't mean anything to her. Look how quickly she moved on. When it's like, she can't move on that quickly, man. Like, that's not how this works. No matter what happens, she cannot move on so fast with another guy. It's all just projection. She wants it to be true because then she doesn't have to sit through the breakup like you do. Her new man is a mirror. It's not a replacement. And I know it feels like that because like she'll purposefully pull him into a relationship and pull him up to the level that she thinks you and her were actually on. And if you just sit back and look at it like a third party would without the emotion, you'd realize how needy and desperate and kind of disgusting it actually looks on the outside. He's a mirror because he is going to reflect exactly what she feels in that moment. She's chosen him out of loneliness. It's not an actual connection. Whenever that fades, whenever she's not either as lonely anymore or that honeymoon phase is over, she's going to run into problems with him real fast because oftentimes they're not even compatible with one another. Like they don't even like each other, and yet they jumped into a relationship. And at first, when everything's brand new, oh my gosh, they think they found the one. They think they found their soulmate, and it's so incredible, and they just can't wait to post them all over their socials. She did not replace you, the emotional history that you two had, or the bond that you guys developed in your relationship. She just downgraded to a safer option, a dynamic that she has full control over. A dynamic that she doesn't even mind losing because it's built on nothing but fantasy and ego. That's it. See, she's trying to control the narrative. See, she lost control of the story with you. Even if she was the one that initiated that breakup, it didn't go how she wanted it to go. Especially if you handled the breakup right. She's trying to scream at you through her actions and say, look how okay I am. I don't need you. Look how happy I am without you. My life is so much better off without you in it. And what she's really saying is, look how hurt I am. You should have to feel what I'm going through right now, even if she was the one that initiated the breakup. Her new man is nothing more than performance. Not just for you, not just for her friends or for her family, but it's for her as well. Where most men lose this fight. Comparison kills your power. Is he taller than you? Maybe. Is he richer than you? Maybe. Is he funnier than you? Is he more handsome than you? Hell no. Every time you think about him, you abandon yourself because you're constantly comparing the values that you see, especially because you don't know him. All you have to go off of is his social media accounts, and you start to compare your life with his highlight reel. Because that's all social media is. Like, nobody posts their low moments on Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. So what you're reading into is something that's going to be the worst case scenario because your brain wants to go through that first because that's going to be the most painful. It's going to say, okay, let's imagine the worst case scenario here. Let's imagine this guy as bigger, badder, and better than he ever really is, because that's going to be the most painful. And if we can get over that, then we'll be okay. But odds are he's not. Maybe he has one or two things that you don't have. But I got news for you, man. You've got something that he doesn't have. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a third leg down there. Or vice versa. Maybe you're the 2-inch Punisher. Who knows? Who cares? The point is, she fell for you once. She's not really falling for him. She's just performing for him. If you simply act like the man that she originally fell in love with, she'll fall for you all over again too. Here's what I need you to understand. Emotional reactivity is instant disqualification. This comes out as you texting her to make her jealous, texting her because you feel jealous, posting stories, posting content just to get her attention. You show her that you are still orbiting her world, even though she's orbiting a totally different planet. It comes across as weak and needy and desperate, and all it will do is push her further away. The main point here is that competing for her lowers your value. You fall into this trap of thinking that you're going to prove your worth to her without realizing that you already made her fall for you before you even felt worthy of it. Masculinity does not chase. It knows how to keep by drawing boundaries. And the second that she leaves your boundaries, you leave that relationship. Here's how to win without engaging either of them. Silence is your best weapon. No comments, no views, no messages. Don't give her the slightest bit of validation, because that's what she really wants. That's what her ego wants, is for you to validate her choice of leaving you, to validate her choice of choosing him. There are no words, there are no text messages that you could ever send her that will speak louder than your silence. What's the saying that says the best way to get somebody else's attention is to stop giving them yours? That's the idea that you need to be implementing here. And I've got to say it, you need to be upgrading. I know you're probably sick of hearing me say this in every single one of my videos, but the problem with most guys is that they don't. Look, I understand that on a daily basis, it might be a little bit difficult because days tend to blend together sometimes, but every single week, you need to be able to look back on your life and to say, yeah, I am actually better, smarter, stronger, whatever it is than I was last week. The truth of the matter is, the man that she broke up with is not the same man that she fell in love with, and it's not going to be the same man that's going to reattract her and get her to fall back in love with you. So go ahead, let her play games. Let her choose him, let her perform for him, let her wear herself out, because she knows at the end of all that, she's going to have to face that silence, and she's going to have to come to the realization that you were the realest thing in her life. And here's the truth about jealousy. It makes you think that he's the prize. That's what's really happening at the core of this. Because if you look at him and you honestly believe that he's a downgrade, you're not going to be jealous of him. You're going to feel sorry for him because she's going to destroy him and probably going to make him cry. And I've seen that before in some of my exes. Like, I've seen the guy that she went out with after me, and it was like a much younger guy, like in his teenage years even. And I felt so bad for that kid. And I was in my 20s at the time. But I felt so bad for him because I knew, and sure enough, when they broke up, he was an absolute mess, like crying and everything. And I was just like, dude, I've been there, man. I felt so bad for that guy. I wanted to reach out just to tell him, look, bro, I know what this means. You know, he needed girls like that to turn guys like him into guys like me. That's the honest and simple truth. Once you've gotten your heart broken a few times, once you've been the side guy a few times, you'll start to understand women quite a bit. Here's how you know you're doing this right, because here's what starts happening. She starts wondering why you're not viewing her stories anymore, why you're not liking her posts. Where did you go? Like, your entire energy is just gone from her. And eventually that new guy stops looking so perfect. Just like a new car, it runs into problems too. She's going to start comparing her new guy to how she felt with you. He doesn't have your guys' history. He doesn't have your inside jokes. And she's trying so hard to replace you with the new guy. And she's going to realize that this just doesn't work. Like I said, they may not even be compatible. Like, once that mask drops and they don't have to perform for each other anymore, that honeymoon phase ends, they're going to see each other for who they really are. And odds are, because most rebounds don't last very long, they see each other for who they really are, and they realize that they don't even like each other, let alone love each other. You win by emotionally detaching from that situation, by letting her go, letting her spiral, and letting the contrast between you and her new guy become more apparent every single week. And if you become the man who starts begging her, who starts pleading her for an answer, for closure or something like that, she's going to want to get away from you as fast as possible. But the guy who just lets her go, that lets her wonder about him, that's the guy that she's going to regret losing. Don't forget, in every single one of these videos, in the description, there's my link. Click it so you can get a hold of me. Schedule something with me if you want to take your situation more seriously. Until then, lil bro, lil sis, you've got this, and I've got you. I'll see you in the next one.